Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguele. Let's begin with information technology. In an effort to ensure that synergy and effective supervision of the federal government's digital transformation initiatives, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the transfer of National Identity Management Commission to the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. In a statement by a spokesperson of the Minister of Communications, Uwa Suleiman, the development is as a result of President Buhari's consideration for the critical role of National Identity Management Commission towards the realization of the objectives of the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria. It may be recalled that NIMC is mandated to create, manage, maintain and operate the National Identity Database established by the NIMC Act 2007. All right, now let's look at other situation. If we recall, the gridlock resulting from the damaged portion of a bridge along Kaduna Zaria Highway has eased out. Abdullahi Mohammed brings us the situation report. Okay, we have Abdullahi already standing by live. We wanted to play you a report earlier by him, but let's take him live now. Abdullahi, if you can hear me loud and clear, what's the latest update at the junction you are right now?
Okay, Ruth, we are back here, and what we have seen so far, nothing has happened here. But earlier on, a team from the Federal Ministry of Works came here and they conducted a kind of an assessment. And I have with me the controller in charge of that department here in Kaduna. But before then, let me show you something.
Okay.
If you can see right behind me over there, you can see that traffic has started building. This is exactly what happened yesterday, and before you could say anything, the whole place, got blocked, and then that was how people suffered yesterday. But let me now bring in the controller in charge of that department here in Kaduna, so that he will explain to us what exactly are they doing, and then what is the outcome of that assessment that they have conducted in the morning. Mr. Fimba, please come inside. Thank you for joining us here. Tell us exactly the outcome of that assessment that you conducted this morning. What's the outcome?
Yeah, the assessment was able to give us a true picture of what has happened on the road. Initially, the report was that the bridge had issue, that there was a puncture. But by the time we came here, we look at it, we realized that it's not the bridge. We went down under the bridge, look at the whole bridge, and everything is stable about the bridge. This bridge was built 60 years ago and it's still intact. The bridge is okay. So the problem we have is with the approach. The approach was built 60 years ago, and underneath it, it's like a drainage pattern was created down below it, and there was gradual seepage. So after 60 years, there was a hollow opening down there. And because of that hollow, the kind of material we have could not sustain it. Modern bridge now, we have what we call transition slab, based on concrete with over 5 meters. Even if the underside is cut, the bridge's motors can still pass on that transition slab. But the former technology did not take care of that. So what we have here now is not as serious as we visit, but we have looked at it. We are going to rebuild what has been removed. We have talked to the contractor, and we have assessed everything. So it's something that we can do on time. And the always control maybe the weather. If the weather is friendly, within the short possible, we're able to finish it. But as we live here, you now are working with the contractor to see how we can commence work immediately.
What the public will definitely want to know is that specifically the time period where they will see the contractor coming into this place to make sure that this thing is taken care of.
Yeah, that's why I say we have written the contractor. In the next 2 days, they should be here, latest. But we hope that by tomorrow they'll be here too. But even now, we are talking to them. They have to mobilize, because when you have a problem like that, you have to mobilize the necessary equipment that are needed to do the work. So they have to work on that, articulate everything, then they'll move to site immediately. So they will soon come here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fimbazira. We're really grateful. And That's exactly what we have heard from the controller. He said in the next couple of days, the contractors will come in here and make sure that they take care of this. But again, if you take a look at the other lane where the vehicles are applying right now, you can see that the officials, personnel of the Federal Road Safety Code there managing the traffic, and then we hope that the motorists will adhere and then will not have the kind of chaotic situation that we have seen yesterday. Aguele, Ruth.
Okay, Abdullahi, thank you very much for that update there. But I'd like to quickly note something from what you just showed us and what we can see from the screen. Yes, it's a good thing that it's been barricaded, talking about that portion of the damaged bridge there. But for passerbys, I could see someone just pass by earlier. You know, that's really dangerous, especially for night. What's your take on that? Should there be more barricade, do you think?
Of course, it is really dangerous, but if you can also look at what is happening or what is behind me there, you will see that there's this red tape that the officials of the Federal Ministry of Works with the contractors came and they put indicating that it is dangerous for any individual to come over here and then pass through this place. But unfortunately, you know our people, and the fact that people don't respect the laws. But actually, if you look at it, you see that there are indications that this is a dangerous place, that nobody should be allowed to pass here, but people, you know, hardly adhere.
All right, thank you very much, Abdullahi. We'll definitely keep in touch with you for more update on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was our correspondent today, Abdullahi Mohammed. Let's look at more on infrastructure by the federal government, but on a positive note, as people of Southeast geopolitical zone are expressing delight with the effort by the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for keeping faith with its promise of upgrading facilities at the Kano International Airport in Enugu to match global best practices. Speakers at the reopening of the airport believe that this and other federal government projects in the zone speak volume of the administration's commitment to infrastructural development across the country. Let's hear more from Susan Eze.
With the runway extended up to 3 kilometers, airfield lighting and other auxiliary facilities all upgraded to standard, this ceremony marks a new dawn at the Akanibiam International Airport, Enugu. Governors of the Southeast Zone are grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari for demonstrating strong commitment to infrastructure development, which the Southeast Zone is a beneficiary. With the Akanibiam Airport, the second Niger Bridge, the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, and other projects standing out as shining examples.
Thank you, Mr. President. The second Niger Bridge is moving on very well, and it's a product of dialogue and persuasion.
A testimony of determination to rebuild the nation through the provision of critical infrastructure to stimulate economic growth and development of the Nigerian nation.
Other stakeholders, including the former Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, and the President General Ohaneze Ndibo, Chief Nnianwodu, also lauded the project, hoping that the terminal and cargo wings of the airport will also enjoy such speedy completion. Appreciative of the unwavering support of the Enugu State government in the course of the project, Minister of Aviation said, with the project done and dusted, attention will now be shifted to speedy completion of the cargo and international terminal buildings.
May I urge the governments and people in this region to increase their commitment by using this airport to the fullest.
Governors of the Southeast Zone, traditional rulers, political leaders, and other stakeholders all graced the historic event. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
A tripartite executive, legislative and leadership of the APC Consultative Committee has been inaugurated in a deliberate attempt at enhancing democracy and good governance in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, promised to lead and find solutions as he places great faith in the committee towards improving service delivery to Nigerians. Let's get more details from State House correspondent Adam Musambo.
The Tripartite Consultative Committee is aimed at creating the desired synergy amongst the executive, legislature and the governing party towards delivering effectively the administration's core promises of securing the country, enhancing the economy and fighting corruption for sustainable national growth and development.
The Tripartite Consultative Committee will build a greater collaboration to deliver on the promises, position our party, which has been rejuvenated, enhance legislative processes, and enable government perform better.
Inaugurating the committee, President Muhammadu Buhari said with the governing APC commanding a clear majority in both the Senate and House of Representatives, taking Nigeria to the next level is a task that must be done. This, he however said, can only be achieved through effective coordination, collaboration, cooperation and communication between the leadership of the various arms of government and the governing party.
We must admit to ourselves that our party has been too often embroiled in bitter and on occasions totally unnecessary squabbles, costing us seats in legislative and gubernatorial elections. These never should have happened. We are here to make sure such occurrences do not happen again. We must now ensure regular consultations between the party and the governments.
Expressing firm belief in the doctrine of separation of powers, which he described as fundamental to the nation's constitutional democracy, the president, however, said the practice should be a harmonious checks and balances, devoid of petty rivalry.
As one government, we must further align ourselves and be alive to our electoral promises. We need to nurture our party, which is a platform that will take us and our country forward. I am placing great faith in this consultative committee to help improve our governance and achievements to the people of Nigeria. Your success will directly enhance the success of this administration and greatly improve the conditions of our people.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker Femi Bajabiamila, and the Chairman, APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Governor Maimala Buni of Yobe State, were unanimous that with the Tripartite Consultative Committee, Nigeria and Nigerians will witness much difference in governance and service delivery.
It is incumbent upon us, as an administration and as a party, to ensure that we meet the expectations and aspirations of Nigerians. This is not in any way to compromise the independence of the legislature. If anything, is to strengthen the legislature.
What this is about is that we don't allow the approach of 2023 to affect governance. And how do you not allow 2023 to affect your policies? By bringing your men together. That's what a responsible party will do, and that's exactly what Mr. President has done today.
The party is very happy with this development, with this tripartite arrangement to deliver on our promises. It is in the best interest of Nigerians and the party.
The Tripartite Consultative Committee, first of its kind under the Buhari presidency, is chaired by Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
A new national policy against trafficking in persons in Nigeria, we hear it's been worked out. Stakeholders are meeting in Abuja, fine-tuning the document to be presented to the Federal Executive Council for ratification. Kevin Ohunyahe gives a small report.
The current national policy document on human trafficking was produced in 2008. After new trends in human trafficking emerged in recent years, a review became imperative. NAPTIP, along with its partners, are validating inputs from stakeholders from across the country to accommodate issues like legal services, protection for migrants abroad, guidelines for foster care for children, and intervention for trafficked persons.
There are new and emerging trends. For example, lots of people didn't know anything about organ harvesting, and even now this trafficking for domestic servitude is now a new trend, and it has become very common almost all over the world.
We have many activities working in the different areas: legislation, prosecution, prevention campaign. So I think that the work of FIAP is clear, and also the compromise and the commitment of the European Union with this organization also is very, very clear.
What is going to charter the intervention for victims, especially also working as civil society organizations, using the document at the point of first contact with victims.
The new document, expected to be operational soon, will also isolate specific deliverables to make the management of migrants' issues and trafficked victims easier for relevant agencies and organizations. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebonwaye, NTA News.
Right, next for us is a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
TV College Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is currently admitting students for its ordinary diploma programs in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. Interested candidates are advised to obtain relevant information concerning eligibility at our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or marketing department of any NTA station nationwide. For further information, contact Assistant Director, Marketing, NTA TV College Jos on 0803-314-4383 or the Academic Office of the College on 0806-980-9807. Announcer, Registrar. A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring great personalities from all walks of life. Expository interview with a young TV presenter who shows passion on what she does, Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. Pick a copy of this compendium of mind-blowing stories and get abreast with issues as regards media convergence, leadership, health, star profiles, star programs, fashion, sports, human angle stories, and lots more. Meet some media professionals within our space who have paid their dues in no small ways. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative, and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's now join Adiola in Lagos live for an update on the helicopter crash which occurred, if we recall, last Friday in Salvation Road, Opebi, Ikeja. Adiola, what can you tell us now is the latest development about that incident?
Okay, thank you, Ruth. Currently, the Lagos State government has made good his promises. The governor had an on-the-spot assessment of the accident crash on Saturday, and he promised that the repairs will be done. And true to his words, today being Monday, the Lasema group, they are here, they are supervising the repair works. When we got here, we saw the bricklayers taking away the broken blocks. They actually had to bring down this wall, and they took off the debris, and they're still going to work on the roof that was affected. And I understand that more material testing will be carried out on this site. They're still going to do more integrity tests to know if adjoining buildings close to this site were affected during the crash. But right now I have with me engineer Olatunde Akinsoya. He's the Director of Operations at Lasema, and he'll be telling us the actual effects that this crash had on this particular building. Mr. Akinsoya, can you tell us the level of the updates right now?
Actually, what happened on Friday is what nobody actually expected. However, we have a proactive government who has a complete emergency response plan in place. And immediately we move into actions to do recovery of the shopper that got crashed. And the second day, the governor himself, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, personally came here to commiserate with the families and the owner of this residence. And then at that particular point, he directed that all the reconstruction exercise regarding these two structures should be footed by the government of Lagos State. So he directed all the relevant agencies to move into actions. And then the following day on Sunday, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency came in to do an impact assessment. It is with that we come up with the need to actually bring down the wall and reconstruct it and refortify it. Then remove the roofing of these structures, then put another one in place. In addition to that, we're going further to do an integrity test of all of the two structures where the aircraft and the helicopter landed. So after the integrity test, if there are any other things that were needed to be done on the structure, the government of Lagos State is more than ready to do that.
Okay, I actually spoke to some residents close by, and they said they are yet to come out of the shock of that crash. Is the government trying to do any psychotrauma test for, residents of Salvation Road?
Thank you very much. In a disaster scene like this, the first thing to do is reconstruction. And after reconstruction, then you do a trauma assessment of the resident, probably like 100 meter away from this place. So we're having that as plan B, actually. So of course, by the time we finish the reconstruction of the affected zones, we're going to move into psychotrauma assessment of this area, of the people in this area.
Okay, thank you very much. I also have a resident here who will be appreciating. Let's hear what he has to say concerning the work the governor has actually started. Hello, sir. You're a resident here. You've seen that the governor has spoken and he has taken action immediately. What is the reaction, response from the residents?
I have to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Governor. He came here on Saturday. He do promise that there's going to be a reconstruction of this fence and all the damaged area. We are not even expecting as soon as we saw it this morning. I was shocked when I saw the Lasema people moving in this morning. But I was surprised when I saw the engineer that they are ready to start working so fast. So we have to take this opportunity to thank the Excellency for his prompt action on his promise that he already made. And I believe that with what he has started, he will surely put this house back into the best of what the house used to be before now.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And I'm done from here. I'll be handing you back to our studio here in Lagos, where our Yusuf Jibo will be giving us an update on the Accident Investigation Bureau side of the whole story.
Thank you, Adiola. Our Manager Public Affairs Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, Tunji Oketumbi. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So can you give us an update into the helicopter crash that occurred on Friday?
Thank you very much. We have concluded the site investigation, and the wreckage of the aircraft have been recovered and transferred to our office at the Keja Airport, and we are moving on with the next stages of the investigation process. We have obtained records from the airline, and then from the NCA, we are going to be looking at records obtained from NCA the airline, and possibly a tape of conversation with the control tower. And all these will form part of the evidence. We're going to be looking at the maintenance history of the aircraft to know about the airworthiness and the state of that aircraft before it crashed. We're also going to be looking at the records of the crew to know their competence and their currency. Beyond that, we also try to look at the last stages of that flight before the crash. So there are still quite a lot of things for us to do, actually. But we hope that we'll be able to complete that one on time. However, like I said, that the wreckage is already been transferred to the office. It may also involve checking down the engine, looking at the other components of the aircraft to determine the circumstances that led to that crash. So those are the things that, in summary, like I say, that we are looking at right now.
Okay. So when you think we'll be expecting the results of the preliminary report?
I think in a matter of weeks, we should be able to have a preliminary report. Preliminary report is actually factual information, maybe little information to what you already know about about the flight, where it was coming from, where it was going, around the time it happened, and all those things. So they are factual information, and I believe that they will be put in the public domain very soon.
Okay. Now, just for clarification, the issue of the black box, do helicopters actually come with the black box or they don't?
Yeah, what people call black box, we call flight recorders. There are two recorders in an aircraft. There's a flight data recorder, which gives us the information about the important components of that aircraft. It tells you about the flight, the height of the aircraft, the altitude, the direction, the movement of the state of the engine, fuel gauge, everything. If some of the aircraft have more than maybe 100 parameters, then there is also another component called cockpit voice recorder, which records the conversation between the pilot and also between the pilot and the control tower.
Well, that's all we can take there. Tunji Oketumbi, General Manager, Public Affairs, Accident Investigation Bureau. For more reports on Nationwide, it's back to Ruth.
All right, thank you very much, Owl. Let's look at the judiciary scene from this end. The Supreme Court affirmed the election of Yaya Bello as governor of Kogi State. The decision followed the dismissal of two separate appeals filed by Musa Wada of PDP and Natasha Akpoti of Social Democratic Party, challenging the re-election of Yaya Bello as governor of Kogi State. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chumumba reports.
The Kogi State Election Petition Tribunal and the Court of Appeal had, in concurrent judgments, reaffirmed the re-election of Yaya Bello as governor of Kogi State on the grounds that the PDP and SDP were not able to prove the allegations of electoral malpractices in the petitions. The Apex Court Monday, in affirming the decisions of the lower courts, also resolved all the 5 grounds of appeal in favor of Yaya Bello of Kogi State. In the judgments read by Justice Wani Abaji, the Supreme Court held that the cases of the appellant were devoid of merit as they failed to prove allegations made in their separate petitions. On the issue of exclusion, Justice Abaji noted that the appellant blew hot and cold, and at the same time, when they in one breath said the logo of the SDP was not on the result sheet, while in another they claimed it was written on longhand. The Social Democratic Party and its governorship candidate Natasha Akpoti, in addition to claims of electoral irregularities that allegedly marred the election, sought for the disqualification of Bello and his party, the APC, on grounds of alleged forgery and falsehood by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Edward Onoja. However, the Apex Court, in its judgment, held that there was no reason to interfere with the judgment of the Court of Appeal and the tribunal. The court held that the appellant did not provide particulars of the alleged claim of forgery against the deputy governor. It further held that there was no evidence of rigging or evidence that the respondents connived among themselves to rig the election. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had declared Bello winner of the November 16 governorship election, having scored majority of votes cast in the election. However, citing substantial non-compliance and other electoral malpractices, 4 contestants approached the Kogi Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to nullify the election. These judgments bring to an end all illegal issues surrounding the conduct of governorship election in Kogi State. In Abuja, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
And to education, Kano State Government is initiating measures towards tackling the numerous challenges bedeviling the education sector through the local government education promotion committees. About 900 million naira is to be expended on mass renovation of school infrastructure across the state. Abdullahi Mustafa witnessed the presentation of checks to the committees and now reports.
The establishment of Kano State Education Promotion Committee is part of strategies to ensure effective implementation of the recently introduced free and compulsory education policy. It is to ensure cost-effective execution of projects in the sector. Each of the 44 local government education promotion committees was presented 20 million naira check to carry out renovation works at various primary and junior secondary schools in their domain.
Our budgetary provision is more than 26%, which is the international agreed formula. And also, we provide 5% of our internally generated revenue to education fund. And also, 5% of local government statutory allocation goes to the fund.
Emir of Bichi Nasuru Ado Bayero and representatives of various donor agencies described the initiative as a workable strategy towards addressing some of the major challenges facing the education sector. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And let's bring you the latest update on COVID-19. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, has tested negative to COVID-19. The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, confirmed his negative status in press statement. He said Professor Abayomi did another COVID-19 PCR test, which returned negative Sunday evening. According to the statement, the Health Commissioner will gradually return to his full duties as he remains resolute to deliver his mandate to ensure a coronavirus-free state. Nigeria has recorded its lowest daily COVID-19 caseload in 4 months as the Nigeria Center for Disease Control confirmed 138 new cases on 30th of August 2020. So far, a total of 53,865 cases have been confirmed in the country, with 41,513 cases discharged, indicating a recovery rate of 77% of total infections and a death toll of 1,113 in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The 138 new cases are reported from 14 states, with Plateau having 55, 15 in Lagos, Ebonyi and Oyo have 11 cases each, 8 in Abia, while Anambra, FCT and Rivers recorded 7 cases each. Kaduna has 6, 5 in Ondo, 3 in Kwara, while Bauchi, Benue and Edo recorded 1 case each. On the state's case chart, Lagos maintains the highest with 18,119 cases, followed by FCT with 5,156 cases, while Oyo is third with 3,118 cases. A look at education one more time. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it has lifted the suspension on its error services and opened its offices offices nationwide to allow candidates who sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination prior to 2020 carry out certain required corrections of the processes in person. In a statement by Head of Corporate Affairs JAM, Dr. Fabian Benjamin says the board, in line with extant COVID-19 protocols to prevent overcrowding at its computer-based test centers and other partner facilities, had earlier suspended physical visitations to its offices and restricted corrections and other processes only through the 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination or direct entry platforms, while urging its state offices to ensure compliance with all existing COVID-19 protocols. The board, however, adds that candidates who sat for the 2020 UTME seeking same services would have to book an appointment online. Some of these error services include printing of admission letters, inter-university transfers, condonement of illegitimate admissions, and other processes for previous years. For the past 3 weeks, the education sector has put firm feet on ground to enforce compliance with COVID-19 guidelines as exiting students right WAEC. Hadiza Godwin Ebune went to some schools here in Abuja and now report.
14 days since the resumption of schools to allow exiting classes sit for their senior secondary certificate examinations under the COVID-19 guidelines. How well are the schools inculcating these rules and guidelines?
The use of face mask is compulsory. Without the face mask, in fact, no student has tried it.
As they are on break now, we have janitors that will go around to clean the desk to make sure they observe the COVID-19 guidelines.
On the other hand, students say the new and different way of learning has opened them into a new world of healthy living.
Every 25 minutes, all students must wash their hands. Even before you enter the school, you must first check your temperature.
The water for washing hands, they are in every door of the school.
They check our temperatures, we wash our hands, no shaking and no hugging.
Okay, so when you come into the school, it's compulsory to wash your hands, and then you show them at the gate your pocket hand sanitizer. Then you come into the school, you clean your hands with a tissue paper, then you sanitize.
The school said they will remain committed to continuous sensitization for the students. Hadiza Godwin Ebune, NTA News.
From Maiduguri, we hear Senate Committee on Special Duties visits. Let's get the details as we join Mohammed there. Mohammed?
Many thanks, Ruth, and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government says measures put in place will curb youth restiveness as local government elections draw closer. Governor Babagana Umara stated this while briefing newsmen at the end of his visit to Biu in southern part of the state. Mohammed Goni reports.
Whenever election draws nearer, youth involve themselves in unruly behavior, including violence and gangsterism. Governor Babagana Umara had, while interacting with stakeholders, including youth, charged them to be guided by the laid-down principle.
We want youth to be engaged in technical and vocational education, and we can empower them. By empowering them, I think we can reduce the incessant effect of youth restiveness in this state.
Meanwhile, Professor Babagana Umara has performed a groundbreaking ceremony for construction of a 50-classroom mega school in Biu town. The governor informed the gathering that his administration will construct an Islamic college in all the 27 local government areas across the state. Education Commissioner Bello Ayuba said the work will be completed in 6 months. While in Biu, Governor Babagana Umara inspected ongoing construction of 2.9-kilometer township road and drainages, as well as a community Juma mosque under construction, with a pledge to complete the project. Professor Zulum also met with civilian JTF and hunters, where he assured them of prompt payment of their allowances. Meanwhile, Professor Babagana Umara was at the palace of the Emir of Biu to pay homage on the royal father. Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur and the Birma Obiu were full of gratitude to the governor for developmental projects spread across the emirate. From Biu headquarters of Biu local government, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
Senate Committee on Special Duties overseeing Northeast Development Commission, National Emergency Management Agency, and other humanitarian and development organizations has restated commitment to plans to ensure all-round development of the Northeast region following enough humanitarian support to the affected populations in the last 1 year. Chairman of the committee, Senator Abubakar Yusuf, made this known during the committee's oversight visit to Borno State. Jedwa John Justin reports.
The visit by the Senate Committee on Special Duties to the agencies and IDP camps is to assess the level of work executed by the NEDC in its 1 year of existence under the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. While noting the importance of socio-economic and infrastructural development of the region, Chairman of the committee, Senator Abubakar Yusuf, revealed that the Commission, in its 9-year span, will focus on agriculture, education, power and security for the masses. The committee, who were also at the palace of the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El-Kanami, sought his royal blessings, commiserated with him over his cabinet who died during the insurgency, and assured to intensify efforts in the fight against the Boko Haram insurgency.
We are all working tirelessly, working very, very hard to make sure that the plight of these our children, of these our women, of these our elders that are in each and every camp are being looked into.
The committee also organized a stakeholders meeting to assess the level of interventions given to the over 7.8 million people in need across the state by NEMA, SEMA and donor agencies, among others. As part of its oversight visit, the committee was at Ngom community in Mafa local government, where the Northeast Development Commission is constructing 1,000 houses out of the 10,000 proposed for the settlement of IDPs across local governments of the state. While at Muna Stadium and Teachers Village IDPs camp, the committee instructed the NEDC and NEMA to assess the IDPs camp and host communities for distribution of items in their various warehouses and assured of the federal government's readiness to supply more when the need arises. The committee also granted audience to management of the University of Maiduguri and the teaching hospital, taking note of the need for more support to the center and visited permanent site of the NEDC in Maiduguri. Jedwa John Jessney, NTA News.
Nationwide returns to Ruth in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. The 51-bedded Asokoro COVID-19 Isolation Treatment Center in Abuja has been closed down and handed over for commencement of normal clinical services. Hakima Taliu, who brings us a situation report from the hospital, also had an interaction with the Acting Secretary, FCT Health and Human Services Secretariat, Dr. Mohammed Kawu, who noted that the step became necessary as some isolation centers in Abuja now have less than 20% of its capacity.
That is, those infected in the whole country has been going down, and so also in FCT. Because of that, and so many other factors, FCT administration has decided to convert 2 of its isolation and treatment centers.
I'm here at the Asokoro District Hospital, Abuja, one of the 14 secondary healthcare facilities in the Federal Capital Territory, and one of the few converted to serve as isolation and treatment center due to the increase in number of coronavirus infection in the Federal Capital Territory. For months, it has played that role of treating and isolating COVID-19 patients. The situation, however, has changed. All COVID-19 patients have been discharged from this center. With me is the acting medical director, Dr. Nnabuchi Chidi, and he's going to shed more light. So let's hear from you. We are back here again, and it seems it's no longer an isolation center. So what's the situation?
Okay. Asokoro District also was converted to an isolation center in April this year, and last week the last patient was discharged, and the remaining one referred. So we are in the process now of cleaning up the place and getting it ready for admitting patients who are not COVID-19 positive. We are hoping to start admitting our first patient by Monday next week, which is 7th of September.
300 COVID-19 patients were managed at this facility with no death recorded. In Abuja, Hakimat Ali, NTA News.
Thank you, Hakimat. Good news there. The Coalition of Nigerian Youth on Security Affairs is streamlining far-reaching measures to tackle rising cases of insecurity in some parts of the country. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that as a frontline strategy, the coalition is developing national network situation room to put increasing crimes on check.
Nigerian Youth on Security Affairs are driving the strategic initiative with a vigor of achieving deliberate steps of enhancing security in the country. The youth lost the sustainable progress in suppressing the influence of insurgents, bandits, and other crimes by the federal government and expressed support for more breakthrough.
What we are here gathered for is to establish a formidable youth force with the responsibility of complementing the efforts of all stakeholders in the fight against insecurity.
Speakers say federal government intervention and stakeholder support are required to make further push in strengthening internal security and safeguarding Nigerian territory against invasion.
Whenever we talk about security, it is an issue or it is a task that needs all the youths in this country.
Nigeria is coming up and it's advancing. I want you to go into forensic and exploit the activities of the principal of forensic in investigation.
The inauguration of the coalition is in recognition of the military and other security agencies' efforts in maintaining forward operative bases in crisis areas. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's now head to Benin to join Obehi. She has the next set of reports for us on Nationwide. Obehi.
Ruth, thanks for joining us in Benin. Edo governorship election is barely 3 weeks away, and the candidates are still in the process of wooing the people in the grassroots. Here is a compilation of the recent campaign activities of the APC and the PDP.
The word-to-word campaigns began with the APC candidate, Pastor Ize Yamu, his running mate, Malam Gani Audu, the former national chairman of the APC, and other party chieftains, paying homage to the traditional leaders in the area. Then the APC campaign train moved to meet with the people of Wards 1 and 4 in Wepa, as well as the people of Wards 2 and 3 in Iyukwe. The people of Wepa itemized the challenges facing the communities and expectations from the APC candidate.
Nothing they move, no road, no school.
Pastor Ize Yamu, while giving impetus to the Simple Agenda Manifesto, promised to meet the yearnings of the people if they vote wisely for the APC.
By the grace of God, when we come in, we are going to see the difference. That Simple Agenda, the summary of what we say, we go use and say big development come here. We are going to see big roads. We are hospital, we will make our living cultural. We are school, we will get teachers. And we will make sure say our youth get jobs.
At Ward 10 in Okpekpe, the people defied the downpour to receive the APC campaign train. Meanwhile, the people of Udo, Ora, and Ofunama have received the campaign train of the PDP. The PDP candidate, Governor Godwin Obaseki, promised to make the College of Education, Igoriahi, the best college of education in Nigeria when completed.
In the last 4 years, we never moved forward. When this road nearly spoiled, when this bridge affect, when will nothing come? We not repair them. Is that not progress?
The PDP campaign team was earlier received by the ESF Udo and its Council of Chiefs.
The Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, wants staff of the Commission to exhibit professionalism, impartiality, and neutrality in the discharge of their duties as they conduct the Edo 2020 election. He gave this charge to them during his election assessment visit to Edo State. Ogochukuka Ona reports.
The INEC boss told them that expectation is high, as this is the first time the commission would be conducting a major election in the midst of a global health emergency. He says the electoral umpire is concerned about the process.
I want Nigerians to go to the polling units to find officials and materials waiting for them, not the other way around.
The resident electoral commissioner, Alalibo Sinikem, had noted that card readers for the election are being configured, voters' register being printed, and accreditation of media personnel, among other activities. Arising from the meeting, which later held behind closed doors,
All right, that's the much we can take on Nationwide today. Thank you very much for your company. But do stay tuned with NTA because the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 just got started.
The developments all